Welcome. Great new day to all my self care family and friends. Welcome to another episode of the Room2Breathe Podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I am so thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us today. Whether you're listening from the comfort of your home, on your commute, or while you're out taking your morning walk, I'm grateful that you've carved this time out for yourself. Now, before we get into today's topic, just to give you guys a quick reminder. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to tap the screen, like, comment, and share. Your support helps us to connect with more amazing people like you. And if we're not friends already, be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss out on our latest content. I also invite you to visit our website at theselfcareclub.org. We've got some awesome affirmative apparel, motivational merch, and a bunch of free resources designed just for you. It's all about empowering yourself and embracing your journey. No matter what challenges you're facing, remember you're not alone on this path. We're in this together, supporting and uplifting each other every step of the way. It is time for us to choose to prioritize our well being, to embrace our growth, and to find peace in this present moment. So let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together. Let me see some green hearts in the chat if you are ready. Thank you, Shan. You couldn't hear me earlier because the intro was on love, but I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I see you, Janelle. Nito in the building. And thank you guys for sharing the live. As always, I appreciate you guys. All right. So, our topic of discussion today is healing or habit. We're going to talk about choosing change over repetition. Now, if this is your first time here, let me just be upfront with you. This isn't a space or place where we have surface level conversations. We don't just think about the positive approach. We don't pretend healing is, all bubble baths and affirmations. Here, we understand that healing is work, right? Healing is ugly crying at 2 a.m. Healing is wanting to text the person back, but choosing your peace instead. Healing is breaking patterns that have been running your life on autopilot for years. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So, the question that I have to start things off for us is, are you healing or are you just repeating habits? Because let's be real, you guys, healing, when many of us think that, when we're making choices, it's something that we've chosen, right? But we're actually just following a script that we've never wrote. Okay. Maybe you're finding yourself in the same toxic relationships. Maybe you keep attracting the same type of draining friendships. Maybe you keep reaching, keep reacting the same to stress, right? Every single time you reach a certain point in a relationship and now things stress you out, you find yourself reacting the same, numbing yourself with distractions or staying in cycles that leave you exhausted. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, is this really my choice? Or am I acting out of habit? Because there's a big difference in choosing something and defaulting to it. So I think it's important that we start off talking about comfort zones, right? Discussing when habit feels like home. When we hear that phrase, we tend to think of cozy things, right? Like soft blankets, warm drinks, a space where we feel safe. But here's the truth. Your comfort zone isn't always comfortable. It just happens to be familiar. And the thing about familiarity is it doesn't care if something is good for you. It only cares that it feels known. If chaos was normal for you growing up, peace might feel boring to you. If love always came with conditions for you over the years, then a healthy relationship might feel suspicious. Welcome in, Crystal. If you were taught to put everyone else first, choosing yourself might feel selfish. So when this happens, you go back to what you know, not because it serves you, but because it's what you've always done. And then you end up calling it a choice. But is it? Or is it just a habit? See, the scary thing about trauma is that if we don't heal it, we'll repeat it. Not because we want to, but because we're wired to do so. It's wired into us. Think about it like this. Imagine you're driving and you hit a pothole every single day on your way to work. Okay? It's annoying, but it's the route that you've chosen to take. You know exactly where this pothole is. But instead of avoiding it, instead of dodging it, you just brace yourself for the bump. Now, one day, someone tells you, hey, there's another route that you can take. Hey, Miss Glow, welcome in. Right? I got a whole nother route that you could take, friend, and there's no potholes. But that new route is unfamiliar. The new route is a little longer. And so now it's uncomfortable because you don't know it well. So what do? You take the same old route, not because it's the best one, but because it's the one that you know. And that's exactly how unhealed trauma works. Unhealed trauma turns into habits. It keeps us walking the same path, even when it's filled with potholes, because it's just easier than facing the discomfort of change. Healing means making new choices. Now, this is the part where I feel like things get real. Okay? Um, because honestly, if you're listening to this, you're probably just at this crossroads right now where you have two options. You can keep doing what you've always done. You can keep repeating patterns. You can keep living on autopilot. You can keep making choices that really aren't choices. They're just your conditioned response to your trauma. Or you can choose differently. Even if it feels unnatural, even when it feels terrifying, even when every part of you wants to turn back to what's familiar, you have options. And remember, healing means making a new choice. Because let's be clear, healing isn't just about awareness. It's not enough to realize your patterns. You have to choose to make a new decision, a new choice. And that's the hard part because when you start choosing differently, everything in you is going to resist. You'll start setting boundaries and people won't like it. You'll walk away from toxic situations and the guilt is going to creep right on in. You'll finally say no instead of allowing people to manipulate you and use you, right? Instead of being a people pleaser, your anxiety will scream at you in this process. And it's not because you're wrong, it's because your brain is adjusting to this new normal. And that's when you have to ask yourself, Do I want to be comfortable or do I want to be healed? We've got to begin to recognize when we're repeating things versus when we're actually healing. Thank you, Crystal. See, healing is intentional. Habit is automatic. Thank you. If you find yourself reacting to situations the same way every single time, right? If you recognize that you're the type of person who gets defensive easily, if you're always shutting down, over explaining, running away, that's a habit. It's not a choice. And so if you want to move towards healing, well, that requires you pausing before reacting and actually choosing a different response. See, healing feels uncomfortable at first. Habit feels familiar. You know this. You've been here before. We've done this 100,000 times, right? Change isn't easy. So at first, doing the healthy thing might feel completely unnatural to you. But that's because your brain is wired for routine. But the more you choose healing, the more natural that process becomes. Healing empowers you. Habits limit you. So when you start truly healing, you're going to notice something. You'll feel lighter. You'll start believing in your own worth. You stop seeking validation from people who never valued you. You stop settling for less than you deserve. Habit, on the other hand, keeps you stuck in the same cycles that drain you. So it's time for us to begin to make the shift in choosing change over repetition. And listen, if you've been listening to this and you're starting to realize, damn, I've been running on autopilot, I don't want you to beat yourself up because awareness is the first step. But now here comes the part that really matters. Now that you're aware of it, you have to make a different choice. And no, I'm not saying that you have to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's not realistic. But I am saying that you can start small, right? You start pausing before you react. And that just simply means that before you make a decision, you ask yourself, am I choosing this from a place of healing or is this just my habit talking? I want you to do one thing differently today, right? Just one. Maybe that means you set a boundary. Maybe you choose to put yourself first. Maybe you simply just take 5 minutes to breathe before responding to a stressful situation. Welcome in, Brooke. I want you to begin to get comfortable with discomfort. And I know that growth can feel weird at first, right? But the more you sit with it, the more you begin to realize that discomfort is a sign that you're moving in the right direction. And you know what? If it helps, find you an accountability partner. Healing doesn't have to be done alone. Find someone who can remind you why you started when you feel like you want to resort to the old ways, your old patterns. And throughout this whole healing process, you have to show yourself grace. You're not going to get it right every time, and that's okay. The goal isn't perfection, okay? The goal is progress. And at the end of the day, this is your life, okay? This is your life, and you deserve to be in control of it. Not your past, not your trauma, not your old habits, just you. So ask yourself, am I choosing my life, or am I just reliving my past in different ways? Am I creating a future that aligns with me, or am I just repeating a cycle that somebody else started? Because you, my friend, have the power to choose something different. You don't have to keep hitting the same pothole every day. You don't have to keep walking the same painful path over and over again. You can choose healing over habit. And I hope that today you will. Now, until next time, you guys, I always encourage you to breathe in and let go. So take a deep breath with me. Breathe in through your nose. Hold it. Now let it go. And I want you to ask yourself one final question. If today was the day you finally broke the cycle, what would it look like? Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. What's one thing, just one thing that you could do differently right now to shift from habit to healing? Maybe it's saying no when you would have said yes previously out of guilt. Maybe it's speaking up for yourself instead of shrinking in silence. Maybe it's choosing peace instead of engaging in chaos. Whatever it is, don't wait. Make the choice today, because healing isn't something that happens in one day. Healing happens the day you decide to choose you. And I hope that the day is today for you. So, again, until next time, breathe in, let go, and keep choosing you. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for joining us. If you've enjoyed our time together, be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss out on our latest content. And don't forget to visit our website at theselfcareclub.org. We've got some awesome affirmative apparel and other motivational merch, including music, as well as a treasure trove of free resources just for you. So, whether you're looking to elevate your self care game or you just want to find a little extra inspiration to help you get through the day, know that we've got you covered. I thank each and every one of you for being a part of the Self Care Club community today, and I'm excited to connect with you again soon. But until next time, I encourage you to keep breathing, stay positive, and remember that you will always be supported here at the Self Care Club. Don't be afraid to take up space and make a little room for you to breathe. I pray that you all have an amazing day on purpose, filled with nothing but purpose, and I look forward to reconnecting with you soon. Thank you.